Gentlemen, I've got a very interesting topic to discuss with you today. As a man living in 2023 now, how do you fulfill your sexual needs? Now, there is a excerpt I'm going to share with you from Reddit here, in which this guy is doing everything wrong in my personal opinion, and this might be a reality for a lot of you. So I'm just going to read through this excerpt here. So this is an appeal to single guys. How do you fulfill your need for sex? Hello, I'm 3 years single and no dates in sight. If I think about my future, I think it's possible, sadly, to be single for a long time. A lot of guys feel this way. But I still want to have sex, of course. I really don't like one-night stands with random girls anymore. Mostly the sex is not very good and I have to do most of the work. A lot of girls starfishing out there, and I need dates to get there. I think he's pertaining to the one-night stands there, which, again, in my experience, is never a good sexual experience anyway. It is a lot of work on your half. You're usually inebriated, you're desensitized, and you're filled with regret and that post-ejaculation is crippling. It really is. This individual is thinking about starting to visit prostitutes, an easy way to fulfill my basic needs. The goal focuses on my needs, not putting in the effort anymore. And I'm talking about once every 2 months just to take the edge off. What's very interesting is some of the clients that I have previously helped before have done this in the past. It is alarming to me, maybe I'm being naive, how common this is becoming now. There's something I've always said on this channel, and I think it's really important if you're a man in a similar position to this particular individual, because I empathize a lot, sympathize. A lot of men are sexless for the reasons that we'll go into a little bit later. Unrealistic standards from the opposite sex, and some of the effort that you need to go through in order to get it may not be worth it in your personal opinion. So seeing a prostitute might be a viable option, might be a better option for you. But there is something to be said about what you allow yourself to experience in the world, because you cannot put the lid back on. I'll give you an example. The first time you maybe smoked a cigarette, or maybe you did some kind of drug, maybe you smoked weed, you allow yourself to have a reference point for that experience into the future. To put it simply, if you want to predict future behavior, look at past behavior. If you go to see a prostitute for sex, you'll probably continue to go and see a prostitute for sex. And I'm not passing any moral judgment. I suppose a little bit is trickling through here. I have to be honest with myself. But it's more a question of what's the kind of man you want to be. If you want to be the kind of man that visits a prostitute every 1 to 2 months to take the edge off, and you can live with yourself, you have content for yourself, then who am I to judge? It's your decision how you live your life fundamentally, but that is something that I want to allow myself to experience. And it's not the man I want to become, fundamentally. So I'll go back to our friend's story here. What is your way to deal with some of the issues of no physical connection and lack of sex while single? I know that we all masturbate. Do we all masturbate? That's the question. But sometimes we need to feel some skin. What a very crude way of putting it. I mean, you could put it even more forthcomingly. I need to use somebody else's body in order to masturbate. That's what you really need. I need to use somebody else's body as a sex doll. Let's put it plainly. So this is mistake number one this particular gentleman has made, is that we actually don't all masturbate. And there are actually more productive, more enlightening, and far more invigorating ways to channel your sexual energy. So he's given us an update which is delightful. He already owns 2 fleshlights, not one but 2 fleshlights. How charming. I've had sex with many women, but I want a relationship. Doesn't apply to prostitutes. Okay, so you're using the public as disposable masturbation toys. I stopped having sex with people who I don't know. Excellent. I think a prostitute is a good idea because I don't want to meet women when I'm very thirsty, and many guys know the feeling just to have sex because it's available and afterwards you feel empty. Could be the same with a hooker. I don't know. I don't know either. Maybe men who have seen hookers can let us know if that same post-ejaculation period is the same. If you're depressed, if you're in apathy, if you feel empty. I want to meet a girl and get to know her first a little bit better. I mean, I'm not seeing relationship here anywhere so far, but let's go. I get matches. I imagine this is on an online dating profile. I get matches and I sometimes have date, but nothing that's interesting, or they ghost me if I'm not interested. No dates in sight is a little bit over the top, but at the moment 0 matches on Bumble and Hinge. So I've mentioned this previously. It's really not a good idea to online date, as these dating platforms are typically geared towards very, very, let's just call it the 10 or even 5% tier men. So this is a typical reaction that many men get. He's over 6 feet, working out 2 times a week. He owns a motorcycle, lives in a city apartment. Interesting job, thinks he dresses well, has done therapy. One thing he's missing is he's got 2 to 3 close friends, but they live in a different city. I'm missing a group of friends here in my city. Well, I think really we've kind of diagnosed the root of your symptoms here, my friend, is that you're not missing a place to put your dick. You're missing connection. You're missing friendship. You're missing connection with human beings. One of the remarkable avenues of sexual transmutation, in my personal opinion, and I know this might sound strange, but just hanging out with friends. I actually just got back this evening from doing some photography with a couple buddies of mine out by the beach, having a laugh, having a couple drinks. You know, it's a great way to be present, be in the moment, be mindful, and not be stewing inside with repressed sexual energy, thinking about going to visit a prostitute, which is certainly not a viable option, as I mentioned so far. So let me, I think that's certainly a considerable part of this individual's struggle at the moment. But I'd be interested to hear what you guys think, because I don't think this is an atypical reality for a lot of single guys out there right now. How do you meet your needs for sex? If you're aware of the kind of rhetoric I promote here on my channel and my platform, you understand that you can use sexual energy as a medium for spiritual development, for physical development, for any kind of development, really. I do believe here is an opportunity for you to socially develop yourself. Get a couple friends near in the city. Go and try some hobbies that will allow you to connect with people in congruence with your values and your interests, right? I've met some people doing bouldering, indoor climbing. So strange, you know? Martial arts, MMA, at the gym. It could be that you are playing like a five-a-side football. These are very, very real opportunities you can do to allow yourself to flex your social muscles, widen your circle, and then as a consequence of widening your friendship circle, you'll come into contact with new people to enter in a relationship with, women to enter in a relationship with. And that is the most concerning thing I think about this particular Reddit post, is that I don't believe that there's any reference to being in a relationship. It's more a consequence of sex. Now, in respects to pleasure, I'm just going through the comments here, and the comments are all masturbation related. How do you deal with your sexual outlet? Righty and occasionally lefty. Angelina Jolie and Pamela Henderson. Yeah. Masturbation tips. What a bad day for knowing how to read. Yeah. I wish I was illiterate. Okay. So, I'm not the only one who is, cringing at this particular outlay. This is a very, very powerful force. Very, very powerful force that will accelerate. Here's another way to look at this, is if you're in this position here, good. Get mad. Get sexually frustrated, because that is going to be the fuel you need in order to go out there, put yourself out there, approach women, expand your social circle, like I say, and eventually get into a relationship with somebody where you can have that kind of outlet, right? I'm very tired, and you should be tired. I'm not saying I'm tired. You guys should be tired of using pornography, using masturbation as a crutch to just put yourself deeper and deeper into this hole. This guy's talking about being 3 years single. What about 5 years single? What about 10 years single? This is an opportunity. This isn't something to wallow in despair and call yourself a victim. This isn't something to perpetuate into, seeing prostitutes. This is something to kick you up the arse and go, yeah, your life's shit right now. Go out and fix it. Go out and solve a problem. That reflex you get when you're horny, when you have desire, when you have lustful thoughts, should be transmutated into some of the actionable habits that I have formally projected here. So, gentlemen, sadly, this is a reality for a lot of you. Let me know what your thoughts are. What would you advise to this particular individual? Would you concur with Angelina Jolie and Pamela Henderson? Or do you believe there is a more conducive way that you can use your sexual energy to move yourself out of this particular position and live a more holistic, healthy life? Speak soon.